Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Don't adjust your dial. This is Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Mike Draper. I'm filling in for Sam Shad today, and we've got a great conversation about the new Tahoe Blue Event Center with Carol Chapin, the Executive Director of the Tahoe Douglas Visitors Authority, on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Safety is the #1 priority for the trucking industry. Over $7 billion a year is spent on technology like this electronic eye that will apply the brakes automatically. But the most important factor for safety is the truck driver. These hardworking men and women who safely move over 70% of our nation's freight and 94% of Nevada's. We thank you because trucks move America forward.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And we're here on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers. We're talking Lake Tahoe with the CEO of the Tahoe Douglas Visitors Authority, Carol Chapin. Carol, thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
So I've got to get right into it. This is an exciting time for you. Obviously, there's been, the summer months at the lake are amazing as it is, but in specific, this month marks the opening of the Tahoe Blue Event Center in South Lake Tahoe. Am I right?
That's correct. It's located right next to Bally's at 75 Highway 50 and State Line. And we have now executed our first 2 events. So with rave reviews, I might say. So that's been good. And we have a week coming up that's also pretty special in terms of, some of the events that we're hosting in the next couple of months, which I will get into when you ask me that very, very key question. So make sure you write it down and we'll get back to it.
Yeah, I've taken notes.
Okay, good.
So let's talk about the event center for a couple of minutes. The event center was built in part, sort of like Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. It's in 2019, the legislature passed a bill authorizing a $5 a night room surcharge that would fund up to half of the event center. And the idea behind that was the event center was going to be a very significant stimulus for South Lake Tahoe's economy. Carol, can you speak a little bit about the economy and how the event center is going to impact that in South Lake Tahoe?
Yeah, absolutely. We did a feasibility study or an economic impact study in 2017, I think it was. We just updated that. So the news just keeps getting better as far as the impact, Mike. It's that economic impact study would indicate that we could help our economy, on a year-round basis for about $60 to $70 million. that's key for a lot of reasons. One of them is the seasonality of Tahoe. As you know, we have some pretty horrendous dips in the latter part of fall and the early part of spring. And it's already showing with our bookings, which is, what I was kind of hinting at before, is already shows our bookings are going to be in those shoulder months with a lot of meetings and conferences, family shows. Also, I, can't help but mention the minor league hockey team that we were able to attract to the event center, and they'll start in October of 2024. So between overnight stays, generating room tax, generating taxes or revenue for the county, it also will benefit our local residents in the fact that as a seasonal resort area, our workforce also has dips in their income. So we hope to even that out. We have about 15 managers on the project, and we expect to have as many as 300 part-time employees. So, pulling from the other resorts when they're not working, and for instance, at Vail Resorts in the wintertime, they might be coming to the event center in the summer.
Now, the event center itself, I was up there last week. It's a gorgeous facility. It's right in the parking lot of the Mont Bleu, or what was the Mont Bleu, I guess it's Bally's.
Yeah, you're going to have to lose that.
Yep. Bally's now, but it's a gorgeous facility.
You're going to have to keep going too, because we have another resort across the street that's changed. So we're going to have to train you, but we'll get you there.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, sure.
This was truly a community effort, right? This was supported by the resorts and the chamber, the business community, the realtors, and a lot of the residents. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely. The first group, as you mentioned, to get on board were the casinos, and as you know, gaming isn't what gaming used to be in this area. We used to be part of Northern Nevada was the third largest gaming destination in the country, and over the years that continued to decline. So we didn't have too much trouble getting all of our resorts, Caesars Entertainment, now Bally's, now Golden Nugget across the street, on board with this. And as a matter of fact, Edgewood Tahoe is also part of our partnership. They actually donated the 5.5 acres that the event center sits on now. So huge support by the residents, and by the other businesses. I went to a lot of public meetings for this building. We started this process in 2015, continued it through the legislature, for as you mentioned, and we haven't had really just we have had really lots of support, and from all kinds of sectors. So it's kind of a win project for everybody.
Now, some of the specifics on the event center: it cost somewhere around $100 million to construct. It's a 6,000 plus seat event center, but it can hold a number of different events. You can correct me if I'm wrong on those facts, but what types of events? Obviously, it was announced this summer that there's a minor league hockey team coming to South Lake Tahoe, as you said, that's owned in part by Tim Tebow. What types of events are on the docket for the event center already?
Well, as I mentioned to you, we've had two events already. One was a wedding, and then the other one was an event that was brought in that actually meets here every year, but was not able to have a large kind of general gathering like their awards banquet in one sitting at the resorts. And I can kind of highlight that a little bit as we go along. But we also have the National Parks Directors Association coming in. This year is Nevada's opportunity to host. So it's kind of a double win for Nevada, since it was their year to host, and we have a brand new facility right there next to Edgewood in the lake. We have the Nevada Hospital Association. We have a couple of shows that have been announced. Our grand opening show, you might have seen this, is Pitbull on September 29th. We have Comic-Con, we have Billy Strings. In December, we have a couple of Christmas shows that will be announced. And then, in the wintertime we have a reggae festival in February. Of course, New Year's, there's a couple of events going on during that time, which gives a lot of our visitors and residents a place to go indoors for an event during New Year's. So that will be good for the community. So we have a lot of interest in youth sports and, sports like cheer and basketball and wrestling. Speaking of those kind of things, we also have WWE coming.
Can't forget WWE. My kids made sure
I
can't forget
it. I'm learning as I go along. Still, but anyway, so those are the kind of events. So family shows, sports, entertainment, arts and culture, and of course meetings and conventions that we think are really going to be big for us in those shoulder months.
Well, let's talk about the event center and some of the issues surrounding it when we come back on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Remember 2010 in Northern Nevada, 13 to 14% unemployment, thousands of homes in foreclosure, Nevada's casinos closing? Families in the Reno-Sparks area were hurting. Many were losing everything. Then Story County launched a game changer for our region, a public-private industrial partnership, streamlined permitting, slashed bureaucracy, attracting Fortune 500 companies that made Nevada their home. Story County generated a river of cash to area communities. Economic studies by the state and others for the Gigafactory consistently show positive economic benefits for our region. $4 billion in local wages, $17 billion in consumer spending and economic activity, over $100 million in taxes to Washoe, Story, Reno, Sparks, and Nevada, just for the Gigafactory alone. Story County, improving Northern Nevada one industry at a time.
Fantastic cocktails and delicious food.
It's a good time to eat.
Over 500 hot slots, plus electronic table games.
It's a good time to play.
Player rewards and big-time jackpots.
It's a good time to win.
Ooh, your good time's a train wreck.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And we're back on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers. I'm joined today by Carol Chapin, who's the head of the Tahoe Douglas Visitors Authority, and it's a very exciting month for South Lake Tahoe is the opening of the Tahoe Blue Event Center. Carol, it's estimated that the Tahoe Blue Event Center will generate upwards of $3 million for Douglas County. How important is a year-round indoor facility like that to the area's economy?
It's a game changer, Mike. I don't know that we even understand how much this facility will really impact, the community. I think you mentioned the $3 million. We've also got 300 employees that will be, have an opportunity to kind of keep their part-time or seasonal work a little bit more stable. I think that's a huge win for all of us.
Speaking of that, and I apologize to interrupt, I think one stat I heard, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but one stat I heard was that the lake pre-recession or 10 years ago had upwards of around 10,000 employees in that core.
Yeah, that's
and
correct.
Is now down to less than 3,000.
Right. Yeah, and that was that's the downturn of gaming, or the competitive nature of gaming across the country, and of course in Northern California. It's hard, as you know, housing plays into this. How do we keep our workers close to us instead of, sending them down the hill to live and then coming back up to the lake? So I think it's going to be a little bit of a spider web of connecting all the dots and helping people understand, how they can improve their quality of life right here, and have those opportunities just, right here where they already live. We've seen that. Actually, we have 5 of our managers, I might say, live in Carson Valley and then commute up here. And I want to, while I'm thinking about commuting and cars, the microtransit program that we have in place for the event center is already in full swing. And we're also looking at van pools for our workers that live out of the basin, or, on the other side of the lake, for instance. So that's going to be another part of the positive impact. I think that the event center has really the ability to launch a meaningful transit system here on the South Shore.
So let's talk about that for a minute. I know one of the issues that is always prevalent at the lake is, of course, traffic and transportation. I think as a lot of people see an event center and a new facility, they become concerned about maybe what that could do to traffic and transportation. And in fact, a lot has been done, as I've understand it, to address traffic and transportation around the event center. In fact, it's been something that's been worked on by a number of different parties to implement that microtransit. Can you tell us a little bit more about the microtransit system?
I can tell you a lot about it these days. Including the event center, I also am getting schooled in transit and transportation and how that works. It is a condition of our operation at the event center to support microtransit. As a matter of fact, every ticket that is sold at that event generates $4 towards microtransit. So an event, for instance, like, let's talk about one of those big events that I was referring to that are booked, up to $10,000 for that event, contributing to that microtransit program. We started it. The event center is not required to have year-round service on the microtransit system until year 7 of its operation. And we as a group of people, private-public partners last year, decided that we didn't want to wait for that. So we started in July of 2022. And our first year of operation carried 140,000 passengers on that system with 4 vehicles. So pretty successful. We found, as we looked at some of the data, that actually a lot of that ridership is early in the morning, which is not a visitor time to run around, the state line or the core area necessarily. It was getting people to work. So we think that this is not only a visitor service, but also a resident service. The South Shore Transportation Management Association is involved in that microtransit, along with a lot of other passionate people about transit. So I think we're going to continue to expand the service area. The city of South Lake Tahoe has committed another $500,000 to that program. In addition to this year for the event center, we will contribute just with that surcharge about $140,000 to it. And it takes about $1 million a year to run a microtransit service, free, frequent, door to door.
Well, let's come back and talk a little bit more about that and some of the other things that you've got going on. We'll be back on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
It's the $100,000 Cash is King Progressive giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Giveaways every Saturday with a Progressive up to $20K and $15,000 in guaranteed grand prize giveaways. There's another 100,000 reasons to play and win at the Carson Valley Inn.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the air conditioning back on today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why sweat for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your air conditioning fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today. at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
Big R in Sparks is located on Bering Boulevard next to Smith's and across from Reed High School for workwear and everyday wear. Evaporative coolers, outdoor living, Weber's, Traeger's, and Lodge. Fill your propane tanks here. Big R on Bering Boulevard in Sparks next to Smith's and across from Reed High School. Big R. Hardware, clothing, and a whole lot more.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's Development Company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's Development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And we're back on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers. We're talking with Carol Chapin, the CEO of the Tahoe Douglas Visitors Authority. We're talking about the new Tahoe Blue Event Center and all the things that you've got going on at the lake. Obviously, I think the lake is a different economy than the other parts of the state. Like you said, we've seen gaming go down, and the employee count has gone down, and certainly issues like housing and transportation are similar to what's happening in other parts of the state. One of those things that we were talking on before the break was microtransit. And I'm curious how microtransit plays into the housing issue. You talked about some of your employees that live in Carson Valley and commute back and forth. Is microtransit a way to address that, maybe make some of the communities more accessible?
Oh, absolutely, Mike. We are, as I mentioned, we're now working on, in addition to kind of complement the microtransit, we're already in conversations with some of our resort partners about van pool programs where they actually get, reduced. They get the use of a vehicle, and they put together a carpool, and then it reduces their costs to drive. Not to mention just the overall vehicle miles traveled is big. You were mentioning traffic at the lake. It's really important for us to keep in mind that a lot of these transit programs will be in mitigation to, adding to lake, or, improving lake clarity eventually. So, when you carpool or take microtransit, you can pat yourself on the back and say that you're taking one for the team and for the lake. And then we hope that this also kind of spurs a better fixed route service on the South Shore. And then, of course, lake-wide, we're also looking at how we can connect those services. As you probably know, TART on the North Shore is very effective. And, we're a little bit behind on South Shore, but we hope to catch up.
One of the ways that the event center is funded that was passed in the legislature is a $5 a night room surcharge. It was supported by all the resorts. It was supported by the realtors, was supported by the chamber. As one of the issues that I've heard recently discussed in Douglas County is what to do with vacation home rentals. Obviously, that issue's been discussed for many years, but right now there's an effort maybe to look at prohibiting vacation home rentals in and around Lake Tahoe. What kind of impact would that have on the event center and on South Lake?
Well, for the event center specifically, it's probably about a $3 million downturn in revenues. And of course, our, annual bond debt requires us to keep a certain amount of funding. So, but it also affects, private businesses and vacation rental, management companies. I think it's unfortunate because, we did a lot of work, and I was on the task force for the VHRs in Douglas County a couple of years ago. We did a lot of work on revising that ordinance to include enforcement for VHRs, and it's working, and it's working well. So I think we're hoping that that we can continue VHRs in the township, the Tahoe portion of Douglas County, and of course we're not asking for VHRs to be countywide, and the Carson Valley does not have VHRs, and there's no intention of having them. So I think it's a program that has some good teeth in it for residents and for businesses, and it generates revenue for the county and for the event center, and it's working.
Well, Carol, I very much appreciate your time today. I know it's a very, very busy month and a very busy time. I'm excited to come up and check out the event center, and hope you're able to be able to relax here in the next little bit. But thank you for joining us.
Thanks. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks for joining us today on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
7 at 7 is a newscast built for your smartphone. It's a 7-minute newscast available every weekday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. at lvrj.com. We don't waste your time, and we give you the day's top stories.
We at the RJ have noticed some similarities between us and a certain BTS character, RJ.
Plus the latest in Las Vegas business, weather, health, and entertainment news. 7 at 7 streaming now on your smartphone.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
It's the $100,000 Cash is King Progressive giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Giveaways every Saturday with a Progressive up to $20K and $15,000 in guaranteed grand prize giveaways. There's another 100,000 reasons to play and win at the Carson Valley Inn.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers. You can always watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day by downloading the audio or video podcast, watching us on YouTube, or just go to the website, NevadaNewsmakers.com. See you on the next broadcast.